Yo, peace with everybody. Peace. What up? What up? What up? This is
Yo,
Shot Kim and
yo.
Elvin once again. Man, we ready. Y'all know, man, it's been real rough. Man, we got a lot of things that we want to talk about, a lot of issues, of course. First and foremost, what's on everybody's mind is George Floyd. Man, George Floyd was a tragedy. Video by
Another.
released a video, and it showed that this brother was choked to death with an MMA move, a knee to the throat, essentially cutting off his air. The brother
My,
pleading for minutes. Looked like the video almost went like 10 minutes when they started.
almost. Hey, and don't forget Wild Handcuff. Wild Handcuff. Wild Handcuff. He was no threat. Wild Handcuff. Let's not
Yo,
forget that.
it's crazy. But first, what up, y'all? So first, man, I want to address Candace Owens really quick, right? Because
We got
y'all know, man, I was a intricate piece of the puzzle, man. I worked on the ground for a little while with Blexit. You know, I didn't never ask to come and join Blexit. It was brought to me, but that's neither here nor there. And I salute a lot of the brothers, man, still and sisters on the ground. I don't know how they do it, but in all honesty, it is totally against the uplifting of black people. So I decided, man, that I could not stand anymore with an internet troll and somebody who uses their platform to just totally try to deflect any sort of issue that is relevant to our community. They totally change the subject and they start beating down on negative issues. I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you like this, man, Elvin. I sometimes I don't even know if I believe that Candace believes what she even says. Because I mean, just think after watching that video, right?
So
Who
we
in their right mind would turn around and instead of saying condolences to the family, unfortunate situation, like man, this is crazy, like the man shouldn't have been suffocated. This chick turns around and starts posting statistics
well
about more white people are killed by the police than black people, trying
and
to
first of
train,
all, yeah.
like,
And it's
like
fake statistics. Fake
yeah,
statistics. Fake statistics, not
yeah.
telling the whole story. Of course, and just want to address that. Of course, you're going to always have a more number of whites interacting with cops because whites are the majority.
The majority
So
of the
of course,
population.
you know what I'm saying. So of course, they're always going to have the more with cops. But what that does not tell is on the end of that, she didn't put how many of them are unarmed dying like we are.
Well, but I'm gonna tell you like this. Even with that being the case, why are you even bringing that up?
Of course, well, you
What
know what it
what
is too.
what like we shouldn't even be having to have a discussion about how many whites versus black are killed by the police. Shouldn't we be having a conversation about justice for this individual? Or how is it that we allowed what training or what's the mindset of these individuals? Like, why would
Yeah,
we even start? See, and that's the goal of the diversion, to take away from the relevant issues and focus our mindset on trying to break down statistics, dig in the weeds and the trenches, and fight each other and have these irrelevant conversations. Man, listen here. I'm gonna tell you like this. Candace Owens she's every
a
day
coon,
that she's
a
allowed to speak,
coon. She's
bro.
a coon.
She's hurting herself, bro. She's hurting
Like,
herself.
like, and let's not just forget about Michael, like, the other brother, Cooper. She immediately jumps on her social media platform and then making it where it's the brother's fault that the
Yeah,
white lady called the police on him
yeah.
and tried to you do it. That I can't even speak on that with this woman, man. And any of her supporters, but it goes back to what I was telling you, Shakim, as me being a Democrat and wondering why we don't trust anyone on the other side. Well, look at it. This is why. This is why we have so much problems trusting anyone on the other side. Any one of them.
Well, you know
I mean,
what?
it
This is the
doesn't.
thing, right? This is the thing. And I'm gonna tell you like this. Oh, my daughter crying for my cell phone. I don't know. Here, you got my cell phone. There you go. There go daddy phone. All right. So this is my thing, right? This is my thing. It all boils down to an agenda. To be in all honesty, you can stay where you at as long as we have an agenda, because you need both sides, right? So, in
Exactly.
all honesty, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, if we have an agenda, we can move accordingly. Because at the end of the day, when we want policy to be moved, we're going to need Democrats, we're going to need Republicans, we're going to need
Republicans, yeah.
independents. So I don't have a problem with somebody remaining a Democrat as long as we have a good understanding of what type of needs, wants, and interests that our community has. I would prefer you, if you feel like you comfortable in that particular party, then I say you stay there, because we're going to need you to advocate on behalf of the community in that capacity. The
Yep.
problem is what's happening. Brother said, no, we need to stop having conversations. I totally agree. We need. It's time for action. Thoughtful action, planning, and being able to come up with ideas that are going to resonate. And we're going to be able to push forward. But a lot of times, what happens, and one of the things we're going to have to do, is cut off these particular clowns like Candace and Brandon. I was talking about the war of attrition, and a lot of you probably read the 33 Strategies of War or Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And there's something called a war of attrition. And in the war of attrition, what normally happens is that you tire your enemy down, or you tire your opponent down in senseless battles. And as you begin to wear your enemy down, when it's time for you to strike, it's easier because you have wore him down in so many senseless and futile battles. That's what we're going through now with a lot of the black bourgeoisie. We're in a war of attrition. So instead of us being able to fight policies that allow, crooked, bad policing, we're fighting statistics on, well, more white people kill black people. And by the time we end up turning around, we so frustrated and upset about the sellouts that we don't really have time to think about and fight the true issues, because we've exhausted all of our resources in fighting these futile battles with Candace and Brandon. So the war of attrition is something that we're facing now, and we're going to have to step our game up. We need people to step our game up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody says acknowledge their comment. We're going to acknowledge comments, but give it
Yeah,
some time.
we go back. All right. So and I saw that. What's that? I guess that Fozzy. What did
Yeah,
he say that he wants us to acknowledge? This is
I don't.
pure against the blacks. Shocking. This is a purge against the blacks. I agree with him. I
Yeah,
mean, but this ain't nothing that's new. This ain't nothing that new, man. Like they kill us. Shit. Cops kill us. Civilians killing us. What's new? You know what I'm saying? So let's what did they say he did that warranted them to do this? Was it forgery they got the brother for?
yeah,
Was it
for
they tried to say forge something? So
yeah,
because he forged something, he doesn't get a chance in court. He's not entitled to his day in court. He doesn't get a chance to speak his story. Nothing. He deserves to die. And I've had people, and it's always it is amazing to me. This is why we will never beat racism, Shaquille. We will never beat racism because we have to fight against blacks to admit racism even exists. There will always be, and I dropped my phone, brother. I'm hold on.
right.
There will always be a black person that steps in to defend their racism. On my post this morning, the first thing I had somebody comment on my post, the very first comment was by a black person, a brother. And the first thing he said, well, he was resisting. Like, are you serious? A brother. A brother said that.
Yeah,
I was like, this is why we continue to stay in the battle. We can't attack them on the forefront because what they do is they put us in front of us. So now you can't attack them because you got to go through Candace. You got to go through the brothers who speak up and tell you that dumb stuff. Well, he was
yeah,
resisting. Well, he did this. Well, if he didn't do
yeah,
that, shut up.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? Like you said, we spend so much energy fighting with ourselves that by the time we get the chance to attack the real enemy, we're tired.
right. We tired, bro. And you know
We're
what?
tired.
One of the things I want to add too is we it's almost like whenever it happens to one of us, Nobody's worrying about the law. Okay, so just take the situation with the young lady in the park, in Central Park. She was breaking the law. She did not have her dog on a leash. So nobody said, okay, she should have complied with what the guy said. He was enforcing the law. Nobody made
Exactly.
that point. Nobody
Okay.
said, hey, this guy was just enforcing the law. This was this area where they did bird watching, and they are required to keep their dog on the leash. Nobody said, you know what? Why wasn't this lady? Nobody criticized her for not having her dog on the leash. That point was totally ignored. He was in the right. Whether or not they got petty and it started going back and forth, at the end of the day, he was in the right.
So how much time do we get killed for petty shit?
Right. Subsequent to that, everything else shouldn't have really mattered because he was in the right. All he did, the same approach that we had with the McMichaels about, well, why didn't he comply? I don't see nobody saying, why didn't she comply? So this is the thing. People pick and choose when they want to use certain arguments. Because if everybody kept that same energy that they had during Ahmaud Arbery, they would have said, you know what? She didn't comply. He asked her politely to put her dog on a leash. She refused. They got into an argument and it went south. She was in the wrong because she didn't comply with the law. So everybody who had that same energy with Ahmaud Arbery, when this came along, now all of a sudden that argument no longer holds weight. Nobody wants to talk about her, breaking the law.
And you know why they call the police? Because they're hoping for that overzealous cop to show up and it goes to a tragic situation. That's exactly what they're hoping for. They're hoping for it. And, especially being a white woman, oh, God, all you got to do is scream, cry on the phone. You white woman mention black man. They come in guns blazing. Yeah. They're hoping for that. That's exactly what they're hoping for. That's why they do that. They call the police because that's the new form of racism. That's the new form of execution. I'll call the police, and all I have to say is I'm scared. Let them know that I'm white. They can tell by the voice, the phone call. He's black. Oh, boy. And they're hoping for them to show up with the overzealousness, and it gets too bad to where we're shot, we're choked, we're beat over something so simple. You see what I'm saying? Right. And how it is. I'm surprised. I wonder what would have happened if that brother would try to make a citizen's arrest in the park that day.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I wonder what would have happened then. What would have happened if he had tried to make a citizen's arrest? It's crazy. And also, I want everybody to understand this too. I'm not celebrating the fact that these cops were fired that killed the brother, right? Because you do understand that the cop who killed the young brother in Chicago, the kid, well, I can't remember his name. Jameer Wright. He was fired too. Then he went to another police force.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the fact that they're fired don't mean nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's not celebrate on the fact that they're fired. Let's wait till they get indicted. Let's put some indictments, and then let's start looking for convictions. Then we celebrate. The fact they get fired, man, please, they get fired from that department, go cross county and work at another county when it's quiet down. The woman who killed the brother at the traffic stop in North Carolina, remember the brother broke down on the side of the road? Woman cop shot him. She beat that. She back on the force. She was fired. And the brother and his video was the same. The brother was walking toward his truck with his hands in the air. Now mind you, now he had done nothing wrong when she pulled behind him. He had just broke down. He was waiting on a ride. He had did nothing wrong. He was just sitting on the side of the road. Cop pulled behind him. Of course, something is said. In the video starts where he's walking back to his car with his hands straight in the air. She felt threatened and shot. She was fired. She was fired and she's back on it.
Right. So man, we gotta really sit down and ask ourselves, where do we go from here? Because I think a lot of people have good ideas. People I talk to have really good ideas. And I see Senator Tim Scott, he called, and I'm gonna tell you like this, and I was disappointed today in some of the comments. I'm the type of person, even if we don't agree on certain things, if we in a fight and you a U.S. senator and you calling for justice, bro, I don't got time to be arguing with you about other stuff that we don't agree with. We need him to utilize his voice in Senate with a lot of the conservatives. We need him to speak out and be a voice. I don't care if you agree with Tim Scott 2 months ago and how he might have voted in a way that you don't feel like it. At the end of the day, you got to understand when we are in a situation that is synonymous to war, you need all hands on deck.
Everybody.
You cannot listen. Bambi said that's if he's not a token, but that's an opinion. That's an opinion. And the thing is,
they don't understand.
That's an opinion. Just because you feel somebody, that don't mean that he's a token. That's your opinion. At the end of the day, I see a lot of people who I thought were tokens calling out Candace Owens. Bro, I said, God, listen, you know it's bad when you the people who you think tokens are calling you out. Now you know something ain't right.
And what they don't understand, man, what they don't understand is Tim Scott, his name carried a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn but Elvin and Shaquem blasting on it. Let's just be real. Yeah, Elvin and Shaquem, they social media blasting. But they give a damn when Tim Scott is blasting on it. Because, you know, Tim Scott going to bring the attention. So why not utilize it? I don't care if he's a Trump supporter. You know, I don't have to agree with him. I don't have to agree with him on that issue. But damn it, right now, you speaking my language.
Bingo.
So yeah, I need you speaking out. I need you bringing the heat. Just like, you know, hey, guess what? Help me bring attention to the situation. You know, what do you? The question is, what do they want him to do? Would you rather him just be quiet?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Would you rather him be quiet? Instead of coming at him, let's look at the Democratic senators who isn't speaking out. And I can say as a Democratic, I pay attention to a lot of attention to that. When these things happening, I'm looking for those who represent me to speak. So when they're quiet, I notice. If this issue is about something stupid Trump said, it's getting shared all over the world, and we having press conferences. We getting killed, and you quiet. Well, you don't win no points with me for that, because this is why I need you to talk. I don't give a damn about Trump, but I damn sure need you to be pushing. You know what I'm saying? What is the governor of Minnesota saying? What is the mayors of Minnesota saying? You see what I'm saying? This is where we need to start watching. What are they saying? Because if you're being quiet, like I said, quiet is just as bad as siding with the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Silence is just as bad as siding with the enemy. Say something, damn it.
Yeah, say something, bro. We need all hands on deck. And you know, another thing that we really gotta somebody. Oh, okay. I got main man Shaka coming in.
My dog.
Yo,
what's good, brother?
Peace, bro. What's going on with you, man?
What's good? What's good?
What's going on?
What's good? I'm walking in the house.
I'm gonna let y'all take the helm for a second. My daughter just went to sleep, so I'm gonna put her to sleep. She went to sleep.
All right, bet. Go ahead, Shaka. Go ahead. I done did a lot of talking. You go ahead and represent.
Oh man, I just got in here. Like I've been ripping and running. So I seen what's going on as far as I know. Me and you've been we've been building the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, most def, man.
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's a lot of people. You know, like I said, you know, I put politics outside of race. I don't do politics and race. But we actually do need more people that's Republican or conservative stepping up when we have situations as such. And, you know, like I said, rightfully so. That's why I don't defend when, you know, other black people say that they don't step up or, you know, they take the side of the police and things of such. So we're trying to be that change, brother. I know, you know, like I said, I know we got different parties, but, you know, we're the same at the end of the day. I didn't watch the video. I will not watch the video. Why I don't watch these videos is because the way that I was raised, I watched a couple videos, no doubt, in my day. But the way that I was raised, my mom wouldn't allow me to watch slave movies. You know, so she, you know, the reason for why when I got older, the reason why she didn't allow me to watch slave movies because it was basically showing, you know, that we can. It was basically a psychological war. We can go back to that, or we can be lynched the same way. So when I watch the police do this, and I watch, you know, the the brother Aubrey got killed. You know, like I said, those are lynchings, and they always had public lynchings. Like I said, you guys are down south, so you already know that they always have public lynchings to keep everybody in check or to stir up whatever they have to stir up. They have not changed the same. They haven't changed the techniques of it. It's still the same blueprint. Um, and that's why I always tell white folks on my page, either like I said, you're gonna be stand up for righteousness, or you're gonna side with modern day, lynching. So
Yeah.
So
Hey, man, Shaka, really quick, man. And when I first started off, man, I started talking about man. I don't remember was that last night or the night before? I don't know. I think it was just last night. But I was saying, yo, something don't sit with me right with people like Candace them. Like it's no way they believe this stuff, man. Like how heartless could you be to, instead of offering condolences to the family and saying, you know what, condolences to the family, your son. I mean, no condolences to the family, no nothing, no empathy. You just go straight to saying more white people, and quoting misleading statistics, saying, oh, well, more white people are killed by police than black people. That's your only response to something like this. Bro, bro, it's obvious something is wrong, bro. What's your thought on this?
we talked about that last night. That was last night.
Huh?
And I told you I believe the guy that Jesse Lee dude. I said I believe that he actually believes the shit that he says. It's a difference. Candace doesn't believe that. People forget that Candace came from under the cloth of the Al Sharpton cloth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tell people she's even manipulating white folks into believing that she believes the shit that she says. Candace Owens knows what racism is. She had a lawsuit, as far as she was targeted at racism. So it's who's paying who's writing the check. And I'm gonna come out and tell y'all, if y'all ever see me do that shit that they doing, somebody is paying me the amount that you cannot imagine. Like if you ever see me doing the same shit that you see these I don't even call them black conservatives. That's bullshit. These people are not conservatives. They're not. And conservatives have nothing to do with politics. Being conservative is just dealing with, self-governing. Like the less government you have in your business, the less regulations and things and stuff like that. It's all types of things. It has nothing to do with being, a Republican. And if you ever see me talking like that, y'all do not have to even think about it. Somebody gave me a whopping check, or I'm held ransom. Like somebody, either my life is on the line where they about to kill me and they got a gun to me and they just saying, hey, talk, or somebody gave me, like, you remember them Ed McMahon checks where you knock at the door? And, check when you.
Hey, you talking on live and they got the suitcase right in front of you.
Yeah. Right. That's like
they got the suitcase full of cash right in front of you.
Only thing I can promise y'all is that some of that money is going into the community. That's the only thing I can promise you. If you see me talking like that, guaranteed, I don't have the conscience for it. Like I probably would seriously commit suicide or some shit. I don't have it in me. I don't even have it in me. It took me a lot to even say that I support Trump. That took a whole, every time that I had to, explain legislation or what was presented, I would always have to say, I don't support Trump, but look at this. Look what he's doing, because I look at tangibles in the black. I can care less on, the person. What I do is policies, because he's out of there in four more years. He's gone. So what did he do for in these 8 years that actually, helped the black community or we benefited from it? That's all the fuck I care about. It's going to be on to the next person, in 4 more years. So it's kind of, some people, we get caught up in who's in office and not the policy. So you take the name off and then look at the policies, and then that's when you put the pros and cons, write down the pros and cons. Yes, Trump say some shit that is cringeworthy. I'm not, no doubt, I'm not defending that. Trump say some shit, I'd be like, oh shit. And it's just like, okay, he shouldn't did that. Let's move forward. Okay. And then, I look at more bills, executive orders and audits from, inspector generals, things and such. So I follow the paperwork. I don't follow the person that we see as far as him hurting my feelings. I can care less. Like I said, I'm a grown man. I don't, in my household, it's the people I don't agree with. So you always not gonna see eye to eye with folks, but what can they do to actually help the household? So somebody that's in your house that you don't agree with, if they're not handling business in the house, that's when it becomes a problem. But if y'all just not getting along, you go your way, you go to the strip club, you get dressed, you go out, and then y'all coexist at the end. You might not like it, but that's what happens. But if nobody's taking care of home, that's when it becomes a problem with me. Like, and I know I'm gonna have my day where I gotta go after Trump. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something or say something, and I responded. And I'm not ashamed to say it. What made me respond to Trump when I lashed out at Trump is when they was acting like black folks was attacking Jews in New York. You remember every day they was having these, and then Trump was like, yeah, I stand with the. That's when I said something, and it ruffled a lot of people up. But I'm never gonna sit back. You never got to worry about me sitting back and just being the fucking a house or a COO. Like, that's never gonna fucking happen. Whenever I see something where we under attack, I'm saying something. That's just the cloth I'm from.
Yep. Let me ask a question, brothers, because y'all some educated brothers, and I love talking with y'all, man. What can we do or tell people to get on the forefront in Minnesota? Is there anybody up for re-election? Is there, as senators, governor, anybody up there up for re-election that we can use to apply the pressure like we did with the Ahmaud Arbery down here in Georgia?
Yes,
because the DA and stuff, down here is up for re-election in Georgia. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So one of the things I need to go Google real quick, and maybe one of y'all can help me, is Minnesota open carry. I don't know if the state of Minnesota is open carry, but the same approach that is not the same approach that these protesters who've been talking about opening the country, how they went and stormed the Capitol and they were screaming and yelling and cutting a fool and acting up and protesting and doing what all that stuff they was doing. That's the same thing that we need to go down there and demand that they lock him up, go to the prosecutor office, get what all that in the same exact energy these reopened protesters got. We need to take that same energy and roll. That's exactly what needs to happen.
And Shaquem know me. When I first, he'll co-sign. When I first, because a lot of people, I'm an activist first, like not by title, just by blood. Like, that's just in me. So I've been doing this for years. Like, if I was in Minnesota or somebody fly me to Minnesota, I organize, get the shit going. I remember when Shaquem, I think that was that in North Carolina?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Scott. Yeah.
You went down there, and I'm like, hey, hey, be careful with this. I was giving you tips.
That was you during the whole time. I was getting messages and word.
Yeah, I was giving you tips on, because everybody they was on you like, oh, you a clown going out, and I was like, and that was the black community that was hard on them, and I was, this was years back. I was taking up on like, no, I'm about action. I'm sorry, even if that's, some people look at that as not doing nothing. I deal with the politics part. I deal with the boots on the ground. I deal with the go march, whatever it is to spark, spark attention or highlight something. I'm with it. Like, it doesn't. I don't have any regulations or restrictions when it comes to actually Black lives. That's never. That's why I want people to understand. That's never going to be the. If you ever see me saying some crazy shit, I'm getting paid or I'm getting held ransom. Somebody is threatening my kids, or it got a pit bull to my face. But I remember when you went out there, and it's, I was like, he needs more support, and that's when I got mad at the conscious community, because they were trying to, oh, look at him. We're filming because we need people to see what's going on the ground, not what's going on CNN, not what's going on Fox. We need people that's on the ground to show you what's going on. Our own journalists. Basically, you was basically your own journalist at the time, taking notes. And people like, oh, he filming people. It's like, if you know about anything downtown they got footage everywhere. There's nowhere that you can go that you're not surveilled. That shit is everywhere. And they they
what I
just
learned, yeah. Oh, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
no, you good, you good.
No. I did it. I did the same thing down here. I learned that from Shakim. Did the same thing down here in Walterboro in Georgia. Oh, I'll go. I got no problem jumping in the car and ride and show up. But it's always the different action when you go out there and you talk to the people. You get the side of the story the media is not telling. You see what I'm saying? Like I talked to a black family in the community that Ahmaud jogged in, and the brother told me that this man jogged this neighborhood twice a day. Like everybody knew him. Now see, the media isn't telling nobody that. You see what I'm saying? The media, the media is not telling nobody.
I said that on your live. I said, when you start going and building relationships, I built relationships with everybody's family. Tamir Reisma, I done built relationships with all these families, and these families never get real interviews to actually expose what's going on. They're told to be quiet, don't say nothing, don't do this, don't do that. And you gotta, for anybody that's watching and confused what we're talking about, is talk to some of the family members that's on a cousin that's on Facebook, a cousin that's on Twitter of the person that's killed, and they'll tell you everything that you need to know. I don't care if he was a jogger, but I heard he did jog. I did hear he did jog around the neighborhood, but it's like I don't want that narrative, because if that narrative is debunked that he wasn't jogging that very minute, people think that they won something or they was right or they or validates him being killed, because I wouldn't care if he was crawling. What happened, with that situation, it should not have happened. Right. So, some people want to focus on the jogging part, not you, but I'm talking about the other side, want to say, oh, he wasn't jogging. I wouldn't give a shit. That's not my defense. I don't care if he was jogging or doing cartwheels. That was never supposed to happen.
Right. So somebody did send me notification that open carry is legal in Minnesota with a permit. So you got a permit to open carry, you can open carry. So I think that should be the plan of action. The same way how they went down in Washington, in Michigan, and stormed with them guns, you do the same thing. Somebody asked, why would y'all depend on this government for help? We need to fight this ourselves. It's enough of this. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Why would y'all depend on the government for help?
I don't know if we're dependent on the government.
Yeah,
I mean, regardless of how it is, you have to go through the law to see somebody prosecuted and arrested. We can't put nobody in jail. You see what I'm saying? We don't have that power. You're gonna have to go in front of a judge. There's gonna be lawyers, and that's the only way you're going to get justice on that end. Now, if they're talking about taking it to the streets, that's a whole different battle. But if we want to see people prosecuted the correct way, then we're gonna have to get them to get the ball moving. This case is no different than the Georgia case. They didn't jump on the ball and start prosecuting for Ahmaud. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was a slow rolling. It took pressure. It took build up. It took the community reaching, crying, banging on the door before something was done. I mean, same thing. Shakim can tell you with Walter Scott here in South Carolina. Same thing with Trayvon Martin. I mean, if the community was silent with Trayvon and everybody else, we would never have any justice. What they want you to do is they want you to shut up about it, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to bang on the door. Exactly. What we can do definitely. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Anything that has momentum, like you said, the quieter you are, the more that they can sweep under the rug. It's like anything that you do, even in sports, once the momentum change, that team, either you're gonna win, it changes in your favor, or the momentum slows down where the other team gains momentum and you lose. If you don't pressure anybody, you're not gonna see. I'm still as far as pressuring, but I've eased up on social media because I got some. I'm gonna do a show with Hotep Jesus next week, but I got some shit to expose. Like, I was being harassed by law enforcement for being active in a case, and then being active on. They really went after me when I was putting together it's a neighborhood, and it's a side on the west side. It's a neighborhood on the west side. A lot of people are getting beat up by the same couple cops, and these same couple cops is using resisting arrest and interference with official acts. That's their. But they're not saying when I start pressing them, what are they being arrested for? What are the official acts that that was going on when this person started acting a certain way? And every last person that didn't know each other had the same exact story that this person said, "Hey, you stop, come here," and then they say, what, and then no, get over here. And when you didn't run to the hood, that's when they went and grabbed you up and things of such. And these are everything from teenagers to older women. They got the same story, these same officers that's in the same beat doing the same thing. And I'm like, you don't see a pattern here? One thing for me is I'm good with patterns, good with connecting the dots. So when I go to the law enforcement and say, hey, this is how law enforcement work on the same format that I work with patterns and connecting the dots. You put this string right here, you put this string right here, connect this, you connect that. So when I went down there and did that, they're looking like, well, that doesn't mean it. But this is how you guys start an investigation. Am I correct? Yeah, somewhat, but it's not. This is how you start a investigation. You look for a pattern, you look for a common denominator, you look for a common story. And I had everything matched out, and that's when they start fucking with me, putting my cars on flats, knocking at my door, telling me come down to the police station. I'm like, no, you can interview me here. I'm not going to the police station. I'm giving you permission to come in my house, interview me. It just got too much for me and my family. And like I said, it's kind of it put a rift in it, but it's like, okay, I just got to move smarter and not be out on the front street with my face on it. So like I said, I salute you guys for even being active. As far as using your voice for Walter Scott and things and such. We need more, and we need more people that's actually genuine with that fight, because a lot of people, it becomes a trend, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. You get sad, or you lose hope, because a lot of people are doing it for a trend and they're not doing it for the actual family. So that's the other side of activism that's really depressing, is when you're genuine about it, and then the other side, the people that you dealing with, they're not really genuine about it. They just want a couple likes, or want to want to say that they did something. So it's we got to be active. We got to push forward. If people don't like it, like I said, it's not for them. The same people that's against protesting and things as such, you would want us to protest for your kids if it happened for you. I guarantee it. You would want pressure. Put on.
Let me bring up this subject real quick. Let's talk about people who always say this is election. Like, a lot of people are saying, okay, a lot of this stuff is coming up only because it's election season. A lot of people are saying, come on, that's BS. Like, we're just catching people on camera. This happens all the time. It's not just election year. But for some reason, a narrative has unfolded, and people are saying, oh, well, they just want to distract us from the election. What's your understanding on that? How do you think that opinion settles?
Honestly, I believe it's 60-40. I'm going with I believe, like, we know that this happens all the time, like 100%, no doubt about it. That's not even taken away. What I'm saying as far as the election year situation is, it's a tactic that they've been using, and it's a tactic. Me and the brother D-Boy, Darren Seals, we start piecing shit together, and that's when we became in trouble, quote unquote. We start piecing shit together. They do use this for to galvanize the people to vote. They do. We're emotional people. Black folks, we're emotional, and rightfully so. We should be. We're emotional folks. Anything that to do with black and white, police and black community, they always gonna have a divide. It's used for political gain. It's used to divide the people. Whenever people actually stand up and say, "Hey, this cop was wrong," fire his ass, that shit disappeared. But you have people that back the blue, protect the blue. Oh, can we wait for everything to come out? Those type of people, and like I said, those are the people that's actually that aided slavery. Like if we was in, in the past, they would be the ones aiding slavery. Oh, let's wait for this to come out. Oh, well, you should have just listened. Oh, you should have just obeyed. You should have just did what you're supposed to do. You should have just stayed on the plantation and not got, you ran away. Now they got to kill you. So, it's political, but it's our reality in the black community. And it's not just, I don't want to say that black cops, cops just kill only black people. What we're saying is that statistic that Candace Owens put out. Okay, cool. Let's say it's real. All right. I don't fight against, I let them keep their stats. This is one thing that you're going to learn. Let them keep their stats. Don't fight against the stats. Okay, so let's say this is real. The stats is more white men are killed, or more white people are killed by the police than blacks. Cool. Are they harassed? Is the white community harassed like the black community is harassed? No. We can go down and show you how many black folks been beat, beat up, mugged and shit like that by the police. They don't just kill you; they whoop your ass. And I had to tell a white dude the other day, I've been pulled over here, and they dropped me off in a Crip neighborhood. I had red on, the gang unit, everything is. They said okay, they couldn't find shit on me. They dropped me off in the middle of a Crip neighborhood. Only reason the Crips didn't fuck with me because I basically I do work with both sides. Like, I was in the street at the time, so I wasn't gang banging. We was on some money shit. So the only reason that I didn't get, touched and stuff like that, because I knew they big homies and I worked with their big homies and stuff like that. So they gave me a pass. But imagine how many people get put in these positions and they get dropped off see, brother, we on the West Coast. They drop us, me and you, they drop us off in the Mexican hood. You remember we was talking about the Mexican neighborhood? Yeah. They drop me and you off in the Mexican neighborhood, and sometimes we never get found again. I'm just keeping that honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's what they do out here, and you don't hear that with white folks. So they got different techniques to deal with us. That's not just murder. They got different techniques, to plant stuff on us. We go to prison, beat us. We go to prison. They even got cases where cops are raping black women and sodomizing black women and things and stuff like that. Like, nobody want to talk about everything. We want to talk about a percentage. And of course, like I said, white people are the majority. So our numbers are not going to equal up to their numbers.
Exactly. That's the biggest point right there. We are the minority. So of course, because there's more of them than us, we're not going to have the same amount of numbers. But you know what's so scary? On that same equation, they'll bring up to us and say, well, more white men are getting killed by blacks, but they won't take that same theory and be like, well, then how come blacks are 4 times more likely to get the same, a harsher sentence than a white man for the same crime? Or why are we, they don't want to have that conversation. Yeah. Because think about it. If you're encountering the police more, then why are we more in the prison if you're encountering them more?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to take that narrative across the board.
That gives a narrative that white people don't do crime.
Exactly.
So I let people keep their numbers. One thing I won't fight them over their numbers. I'm a type of person where you put it on the table, let's talk about it. Keep those numbers, but those numbers going to get exploited because we're in our community. We know what goes on. You can only use those numbers with people that don't know what's going on in the black community. Exactly. And they just take it for face value. So
I tell you what I like to see us do, brothers. Like, you on the West Coast, and that's good. Me and Shad come here, and we both got a stage. Like, I would like for us to be able to connect all the boots in the grounds in every state. So when stuff like this happen, hey, I'm down to ride. Like, hey, if you got on here right now,
let me say something. In the beginning, this is what Black Lives Matter was supposed to be. But it ended up getting co-opted, and people started coming in with all type of ulterior motives, and it just kind of started falling apart. But in the beginning, Black Lives Matter was supposed to be a movement with a hashtag that strictly was for organizing when certain injustices occurred, when you had citizens and police. That was the original intent. to everybody, boots on the ground. When something happens, we have a line of communication to where we can connect with people. We can connect to public officials, whoever, government officials, and we can voice our opinion and we can protest or whatever it is that we had to do, because in these certain situations, it takes a little more to get justice. And I always tell people that, because they always want to talk about, citizen against citizen crime versus, police and citizen crime. It always has a higher burden of proof when it comes down to law enforcement agencies. We all know that. So that's why a lot of times you have to protest, or you might have to write letters, or you might have to put pressure on government officials, because it's a less likelihood of something happening when it deals with law enforcement and citizen. So
I started popping
we
up.
need to check this back up.
I started popping up at the politicians when they were doing donuts with cops and shit like that. As far as I start popping the fuck up, and that's how you get them off guard and start pressuring them. If we start pressuring them where they're not comfortable going to places and things and such, they would change their whole tune. They start having, the mayor's gonna be here. Okay, the mayor gonna be here. Hey, mayor, they talking about their book. What do you think about, this murder going on the strip? Or what do you think about, the kids that got found, the police was human trafficking the kids? What's your thoughts on that? Since we, just having just a fun time in a one-way conversation. And every time they start seeing me, hey, can we talk in private? Hey, can we talk in private? Hey, brother, can you go? Like, I don't want to talk in private. I'm a public person. So they start cutting me off. Like, they start looking for me. They got an event. You see people looking. And I'm like, watch this. Hey, you can't go in there. And I used to be with other youngsters, and they'd be like, they didn't believe me. That I'm like, they're not gonna let me in. They don't know. Hey, you're not supposed to be in. And then the police come. You're 86 from the property. They walk your ass the fuck off of there. And you didn't touch nobody. You didn't harm nobody. You asked a regular. I asked President Obama a question, and they walked me out. So that's what. And this was before Trump. Trump wasn't even fucking it. I asked President Obama, because he had signed a bill that protects Monsantos. So I said, hey, why did you sign the executive order that protects Monsantos from any criminal liability for cancer, birth defects, and things as such when they're poisoning our food? He did just like this. The motherfuckers came and got he did just scratch the back of his head. They came and got me, walked me the fuck out of there. Boom. Didn't answer the question.
Right. And that's a good point. That's a good point you bring up. I think especially during election season, we got to start challenging more public officials. We got to get directly in front of their face, catch them off guard, and challenge them and put them on camera.
And Elvin, to be fair to Elvin, I think Blexit and everybody else that's involved with the Black Conservative or Republican Party should demand more things or tangible things within the Black community to Trump. That's what I love prison reform. Yes, I love the fact that they put steps in when you get out of jail. They got a job set up for you, or you learn to trade, things as such. I've loved that. But now we can have this discussion on what can we, and I'm not talking about reparations. That talk, we can have that later. I don't give a fuck about it. That's something that some people agree on, some people don't. My form of reparation will be as far as trade schools, infrastructure within the Black community that actually can keep us afloat. I'm not talking about something that personally gonna help me and that's it. Oh, give me a check, I'm gonna be cool. It's something that's gonna help us where we have infrastructure within the Black community on finances. The whole thing about how the Black community is left behind is because we're not the dealer, we're the consumer. We buying everything. We're not the person that's distributing or making. So we're not the manufacturer, yep. We're not the distributor, we're the customer. So whenever we can change those formats within the Black community, that's what I would be. They would have to kick me out the White House because I'll be sliding Trump notes. Hey, yeah, what's the point? What's the point of being around Trump if you're not going to put in or try to whisper in his ear? So I don't want to be around Trump just to be around him, say I've been around him. I want to actually put legislation on the table, and give it to Don Jr. Give it to your daddy. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out and drink beer with Don Jr. I want them to put, do what y'all say y'all want to do, and that's the difference.
What I would like to see, Don Shakem, I know you said we've already done it, but we've got to set back up that communication from state to state, coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to set that back up. It has to be where, hey, if Shaka call us right now and say, yo, man, so-and-so got killed out here, man. I need boots on the ground. Then we plan to roll. You know what I'm saying? Right. We rolling. If we call Shaka down here in South Carolina and say, hey, man, look, man, they killed other ones in the street. We need boots on the ground. Shaka coming down here. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be there. And, and that's what we, and I tried that, like I didn't go where Shakim went when they had the riots going on, the protests and the riots. But I was calling them like, hey, you need this, you need this, you need that. That was, like I said, because a lot of people never been in these, tear gas. People don't know what to do when tear gas hit them. Go get milk, go get this, go get earplugs. They trying to, they use loud weapons to fuck with your earplugs. They use sonic. It's a sonic weapon that they use that's on a Hummer. They bring a Hummer out there and it looks like a satellite dish. And what they're doing, it messes with your eardrums and it keep you confused. So you're out there upset and confused, but all you got to do is put on earplugs, and that cuts out the that sonar system that's messing with your brain. Like these are things that we need other people involved on organizing. I'm not talking about going to get violent. I'm talking about going down there and demanding. Like a conservative means less government. We govern. The people have more government. That we govern ourselves, self-govern. Of course, you're gonna need some government within it, but the less government you have, the more freedom you have. The more government you have, the less freedoms you have. So that's what we can do it ourselves, and I'm willing to put together something. I'm glad me and Shakim, we knew each other for years. A lot of people don't know that. I've been explaining that to a lot of people. Like, I've been knowing Shakim for years. I think he's the only one that I would actually work with to try to put something together where we get other black people involved. And as far as black conservatives, even Democrats. I'm not like, I don't want to work with. That's like me saying I don't want to work with the black community. If I say I don't want to work with Democrats or black Democrats, that means I don't want to work with the black community.
Right.
So sit down,
and I feel the same way. I would never, I would never disqualify a man if he told me, "Oh, I'm a Republican." I don't care.
No,
me and Shakim, we rock. We do this every day. And Shakim, hey, I know Shakim, he support Trump. That didn't change anything I felt about him.
You solid. You solid. I'm gonna let you know that a lot of people
change nothing.
A lot of people are not solid.
I went on the him going hard for my brother. I'm like, y'all want to talk about the brother because he said he support Trump. I want to talk about this brother out here every week feeding the people. I want to talk about this brother who opened the school for kids. But you want to talk? You see what I'm saying? Like I don't keep none of that.
Only person, and I'm saying this in humility. The only person that can beat what I do in the community, I think, is Shakim. As far as our age bracket, as far as because like I tell everybody this. Like I said, that dude, it's not too many people that work like me, and I'm just speaking for myself. He goes above and beyond. So I'm always gonna support him on that. Like when it comes to that, you can't say shit about him on that. Like you can dislike him, you can say that it is. Once I see that you have a heart for our community and our kids and our people, you get a pass. Like he can cuss out whoever you want right now. He get a pass.
Definitely. I learned a lot.
You a solid friend because a lot of people that I consider friends, when I start supporting Trump, they treat me different. They never say that we're not friends, but they treat me a little bit different. So you a solid one. And like I said, respect to you because it takes a lot. Friendship shouldn't have no boundaries unless you're doing something real fucked up. As far as some janky stuff. But otherwise, like I said, man, thank you for being solid because it's
most definitely, man. That's the homie. That's the homie. That didn't change nothing. I don't care.
Yeah. Man, like I said, man, we got a huge fight on our hands because it's a lot of people who want to see progress stop, and a lot of people who don't understand the importance between finding allies to fight in the fight with you to serve a common purpose or a common cause. So man, we really gonna have to step our game up. And like Shaka said, we got some in-house cleaning up that we got to do, man. You got people, I mean, we calling names, man. You got people like King Face, you know, they call themselves the conservative thugs, and you out here, you know, protecting and showing off for the enemy. How are you a thug? What type, you know, we give these monikers trying to be cool, you know, to make ourselves, see, you don't make yourself cool to black people by a catchy name or a flashy name or some sort of flashy title. Bro, you not a conservative thug. What, how does that translate into upliftment to help our people? If you call yourself a conservative thug, how you give back to the community?
I want to speak on that for a second.
Yeah, go ahead, Shaka.
Because I want folks to get this. I want the white community to get it. I want the black folks to get it. I'm a vice lord. I'm a conservative vice lord. You can Google us. It's called CVL, Conservative Vice Lords. What we did, even when I was younger, we would pay dues to keep black businesses open. We would pay dues within the organization, or if you want to call it the gang, to actually, if somebody couldn't pay rent, if a sister couldn't pay her rent on time, where did the rent money come from? They used to come to us. Hey, I can't pay my rent. This, that. Okay, we're gonna put something together. We got you. That's a conservative thug, if you want to be technical, because we was conserving, you know, as far as our black community. Of course, you know, everything get infiltrated with informants and things and such like that. So that went left. But for the most part, if you're gonna have anything with conservative on there, I don't care about the thug part. What are you conserving? It seemed like dude is a wrestler. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't, you know, and you know, he has a mouth on him. This is why I don't go to events, because I'm telling you, you keep that wrestling shit over there. Let's talk to each other like men. And a lot of them can't talk to each other like men. I don't have to go talk to him in a disrespectful manner, but he's going to get disrespectful with me because he has a reputation or a character breach to keep up. So that's what, you know, nobody can tell somebody what to do. They feel, but they're not in our community. Taking, you know, going to a barbershop, talking shit to people about Trump, that's not helping anything in our community. That's for clicks. That's to go viral.
TV. Yeah, that's for TV.
Yeah, you know, so like I said, I don't see anybody helping. You know, like it's a disgrace.
Yeah, I want to definitely do like how, you know, we need to build the bond, and I want to keep touching on that and people to see that. I know you got followers worldwide, so you know, statewide, worldwide. Like if you out here in Minnesota watching this, man, like reach out. We want to build this bond, and like, look, this happens, we coming. You know, when the first thing I put up when I saw the Ahmaud Hap situation, I made a post. I wanted to be shared out. I didn't know the family. I didn't know anybody. I was fortunate it got to the right person who got back in touch with me. But I was like, look, man, hey, I need y'all to know you got boots on the ground in South Carolina. You know, send me a message, and you got boots on the ground in South Carolina, and we coming. And it has to be this way.
And it's people that can organize. We gotta have, you know, like I said, when I kept getting called back to Ferguson. I went and I showed love, and I kept getting called back because I was dealing with the court system, and D-Boy Darren was dealing with them too, but he was using his own money to bail out folks, and I'm like, no, I got this, you know. So he like, I would go to the court and I would be like, okay, this sister has kids, she has a job to go to. Why are y'all trying to hold her for 30 days and then her court date till her court date? Some people was getting held with no bond, so they allowed me to represent these people in court. And when I started whooping the court's ass, that's when, you know, I will be out and people will pick with me. And I think they were sent to do the shit, but they will pick with me so I can get locked up. The police, when I'm protesting, the police will come straight to me, talk shit to me, and try to rile me up so I can get locked up. Where I couldn't go to court and help people in the morning because my ass is locked up. So that's what they were trying to do with me. But we need people to actually mobilize and I would pick up and go. Like I said, that's something I've always been a person that I don't. If it's something going on, they call me, they need me to go, I'm going. That's always been, like I said, that's been me for like shit about 15 years strong. As far as just going protesting, raising money, making sure that the money is in the family's name, not my name, but in the family's name, where there's no confusion. Everything goes to them. It's their account, not my account. So it's a lot of janky stuff that comes with it. But if you're transparent with what you're doing, you don't have to worry about nothing. When you start being sneaky, that's when a lot of people it get the movement get lost, because now it becomes a money grab.
Okay, let me now on that point right there. What you think about Sean King? So I read the article today, and the famous activist Talcum X, Sean King. They say that he's been starting a lot of fundraisers and a lot of ventures and gathering a lot of money, and nobody knows these ventures never come to fruition. All of a sudden they disappear, and nobody knows where the money went.
They've been doing this.
What did he say on it?
They've been doing this since Ferguson.
What did he say? Did he address it?
Well, of course he addressed it. He said that ain't true, but I mean, who's gonna say that's true?
But I was saying it's not true. But can he show us receipts where this money went to this family? This money. I mean, that's what I want to see.
You see that? Yeah.
He won't do that. He won't do that because and a lot of people don't know the other side of this. Sean King has some powerful folk. He has some powerful people behind him. He's not just out here just out here just tweeting and He got some powerful folks.
Right.
I remember, this is a story that a lot of people don't know, and I'm gonna say it. When Darren Seals slapped the shit out of D. Ray over the money, over them, taking the money and not putting it. This was the bail situation where they was raising money to get people out, to bail folks out that was getting locked up. And they was out, whining and dining and staying in the finest hotels, and white people having fun with D. Ray, and this was supposed to go to the black community that was getting locked up for protesting. And Darren said something to D. Ray, and D. Ray tried to, he did, as soon as he did one of these, he got slapped. Fire came out his ass.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, this is about to go down. And I believe that's one of the reasons why they touched my brother, because and it took me too, because other days we would protest, and I have nothing against, we're not about to make this the gay community versus the straight community shit. But they start doing that after that happened, they start trying to push us out. And we was like, this is our community. We in the black community, y'all are outsiders. You are people that ain't supposed to be in the community. And the police start protecting them. So this was the beginning. The police start protecting Black Lives Matter from the hood niggas that was saying, hey, y'all not supposed to even be over it. How y'all gonna, tell people they can't come over here and this is our hood? That's what started happening. And a lot of people, I seen that, and that's when we knew that, it was people getting bought. They start sending churches down. The church start turning into the enemy. The churches will come down to us and try to preach to us and give us the Bibles and tell us to go home and shit like that. And it's like, even, Jesus in the Bible even fought back. He had enough, he picked up, he said, hey, it's time to fight. So it's like, they didn't want to hear that part. They wanted to calm us down with religion and then scare us with the police. And that was two of the methods that they were using. And I was like, it worked for some people who went home. Some people took their little orange Bible and took their ass home. It worked. It was successful.
So I am curious though, because I did hear about this, and I just want to jump back on that. I heard about the Sean King thing. I respected the brother. He's always been, on the front line speaking out. But I am curious about that. I am curious about the fact you mentioned about the money.
He shows up, he tweets, and he leaves. You haven't seen Sean King on the front lines of nothing. He shows up, he tweets, he take a picture, and he leaves. That's it. You show me something different.
Right.
So did he ever address where the money went at? Did he ever like? To me, this would have been simple. This would have been a simple situation. Hey, Elvin, put Elvin in a situation. Elvin, you fundraising for this family and whatever, but we're getting reports that you're spending the money yourself. That I should be able to show, okay, well, I raised $100,000 in the name of this family. I can show you the cash app or the deposit, wherever, where I send it to that family. So are we saying that he's not able to do this, or he just won't do it?
He's not doing it. He's in the money that he is doing, he's pinching a whole bunch off the top. That's one. I wouldn't come on here. He could sue me. He can sue me. He can sue me for telling people Sean King takes money and he doesn't, give it all to the family. But I would love to go to court, because when he go to court, he would have to prove his case. He would have to show his records of everything.
Right. And
So
the article that was a very in-depth article too today. So that's something that people can really look into. So I mean, it all boils down to really like, who can you trust? Transparency, because a lot of times, man, when people get so big and they get on another level, greed starts to come in and self-interest. So he's not from the communities that he's speaking up for. Nothing wrong with that, because you don't. Everybody, sometimes you need allies in other places, but he hasn't been a part of the community that's negatively impacted. So at the end of the day, we need to scrutinize him too. At the same way how we scrutinize Candace, we got to scrutinize John. Like that's what it means by having accountability on both sides. Like, we can't sit back and scrutinize Brandon and scrutinize Candace and then let Sean just go. We gotta have a system of accountability and hold us accountable too.
We're not above it. We're not. Nobody in this room is above accountability. Not one. Not me. Not you. Not him. Nobody. And once you have that complex where you think you're above everything, that's when you do what Shaquem said. Now you start to do. You can't get caught. You're untouchable. So that's one thing that a lot of people is messed up, and it hurt me, because I start seeing a lot of crooks. When you start seeing a lot of crooks, you got to separate yourself from that, because they tie you into that. So, you become the crook if you don't expose what's going on, or you don't say anything, and you just sit back to go along to get along. You become a accomplice to what that person is doing if you don't speak out against it. And I start speaking out against it, and they shut me all the way off. Like, dude, nope, get Shaka, can't come to no events. I can't do nothing. They start having gay men telling me, you can't be here. No, you can't be here. This is for us only. I'm like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, like, this is what they were doing. And then they start using that as, oh, he's homophobic because I'm talking shit to somebody that's talking shit to me. So now y'all gonna, damn, y'all clever as fuck. So now me going after another man that's talking shit to me and in my face, I'm homophobic now because I'm talking shit back to that person like I would talk to a straight man and anybody else. They start using our Black deaths for an agenda. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that Black Lives Matter use Black deaths to push gay rights. And that's what happened. And nobody want to talk about it.
Right. Hey, let me ask you this too, right? Like, I was just reading a message, and I don't want to bring that message. We'll talk about the message I read a little while in a little while. But a lot of people, man, I think they don't understand that we have to be outspoken against these people who we talk about. See, everybody wants to say kumbaya and, how can we get along? But at a certain point in time, we have to be outspoken when our interest as a community is being attacked. Bro, we got to take a stand. Like, it can't always be it could be about the kumbaya, but at the end of the day, we got to let people know that you're going to get pushback for doing things like this. We cannot afford to let Candace run rampant and just wild out and say what she want to say and You know, it has freedom of speech, but we got freedom of speech to turn around and to cut a fool too.
Yeah. I don't know if Elvin's seen it because I don't know how many
Hey,
you know as far
let me address this right here. The first slave owner in America was a black man named Anthony Johnson. He even demanded it for it in court. Man, if you don't know why Anthony Johnson became a slaveholder, bro, you shouldn't even be putting up a comment like that. Anthony Johnson, when he decided to take on slaves, there are accounts of him not acting in the same manner as the white slave owners.
Yeah.
It's plenty of accounts out there now. So anytime I see that Anthony Johnson narrative, you got to understand that
and a lot of people don't realize he had to buy slaves to get them off their plantation. So when he seen that they was getting done wrong, what do? You can't go steal them. So what did you do? You went and bought them and you purchased their freedom. That's what the fuck that like.
I'm curious on why that was even brought into the conversation. Why was that comment thrown? We're talking about, you know, the black community, uplifting the black community, and
that's a Brexit talking point right there.
Exactly. That's just like somebody getting on here and saying, "What about black on black crime?" That's that's the same strategy. You know, we're talking about uplifting the black community. You know, holding each other accountable, and ways we can go to get. And the first thing you want to bring up to 3 black men is the first slave owner was black. Man, what the hell I got to do with anything we talking about? You know,
listen, and we don't even agree on everybody's politics. This is the lovely thing about us 3 up in here. We don't agree with everything. We don't agree with each other on everything. We don't. So when somebody say some bullshit and then we come to agree, it's like, why the fuck is that even in here? That should let you know that
we still black. Hey, conservative, Trump supporter, Biden supporter, that means nothing. We are still black. That's you know, and that's it. We still black. And so I don't care whenever we're addressing that, that's who you're going to get. We're going, you know, you ain't gonna get the Democrat or the because you're gonna get a black man telling you about black issues and what we need to do. You know, you're not gonna divide us with that. So I don't even know what that talking point of the conversation was to bring it for him to throw that comment in there. Like, well, you're not going to change nothing.
To clear up the talking point, Anthony Davis, Anthony Johnson, right? Yeah. He became a free man, and then you know he used his wealth to free other black folks. If that's what they want to hear, that's what. If you want to call them slaves at the time because he paid for them, then that's what we're gonna call them. But for the most part, he paid so they wouldn't be in the treatment that they was getting treated at white slave plantations. And I felt, and I'm gonna throw an extra in. I felt the black celebrities here was supposed to buy back the black Africans in Libya when they were selling them for $15. You remember there was human trafficking blacks in Libya. They were supposed to buy them back. And that would have been them buying slaves, technically, but it would have been them freeing, these slaves from going to real slavery or real trafficking at that time. So that's, like I said, he did what he had to do. He can't come in with that talking point.
You might get 3 white boys excited with that conversation. You know what I mean?
See what happens. What happens is, he either was listening to Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, or somebody like that. So what he did is he brought that up because he already heard one of them say it. So now he's coming and saying, okay, let me throw the distraction out.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what they do. Man, we matter of fact, somebody said, let's create our own party. What do y'all, everybody always talks about that. What do you think about our own party?
We can't. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why. And I got a rule. I just got in the house. We can't because there's not enough of us of us to influence a change. You see what I'm saying? Black people are what? 13%, what's the exact number? 13 to 27% of the population.
It ain't that
so
high.
you know what I'm saying? So we're 27% of the population. Of every black person right now walked away from conservative, Democrat, Republican, and said we are our own party. We don't have enough people to influence change. If we all vote, let's say we started and we went to Wutonga Party. There's not enough black people that would vote. Even if everybody vote Wutonga, there's not enough of us to run a party. You get what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
What we do have, though, there's enough of us to change a party because they need our support. So you get enough black people voting either way, you got enough of us to change a vote, change an election. So we do matter. You see what I'm saying?
We can change things locally. We can change things on a state level, local level, but we will have to have our own little territory to actually do it. But that's you're gonna get voter fraud and everything else, dealing with those situations. It's messed up. We had our own party. It was the Black Panther Party.
Yep.
Party. Black Panther. A lot of people say Black Panther, but they never tell you that it's the Black Panther Party. They leave that part out. Because we was basically in the crossroads the same way we're in the crossroads today, where we didn't have nothing to go to. So the Black Panthers said, hey, we're gonna create a Black Panther Party where it's for black folks to self-govern, self-police, self-defense. Everything was self. So we start building. When people talk about black on black violence and clean up your own community and shit like that, we tried to. Y'all take us to jail. And y'all still do that shit today. Like I told you, the feds fuck with me for fighting for rights within the black community of police that was harassing the neighborhood. Y'all don't let us clean up our community. So that's why one thing we gotta get other allies that's white. I hate to say it because it makes us look dependent. But the only people that can change anything is white folks. And some of them don't believe they can. They got them believing that they can't change nothing. You can put a dent in what's going on. So that's why I speak to white folks, because I know me talking to the black community is only going to affect so much. It's not going to do anything. We're just talking just to be talking. Now we need somebody that's in the inside to actually put together the stuff that we're talking about and become that change. And that's what that's what I'm going to go down fighting with. That's what I've seen most of the teachers that was assassinated, they was assassinated or locked up because they start bridging over to white folks. And when they start bridging to white folks, it started exposing what the system was actually doing to black people in our community. And that's my fight. Like I said, if I gotta die on that hill, that's the only thing where I see change. Because otherwise, we're just talking to black people that's going to agree on, yeah, racism exists. I don't have to persuade you that racism exists. I don't have to persuade you that racism exists. We know it because we live it. Now we got to talk to the white community and say, hey, racism is alive. And they're like, no, you guys are making up shit. It's like, so to get them to see that, it has nothing to do with politics. Racism is alive and well in the black community. Treat the black community like you do the white community. That's all I ask. You don't see them roughing up white kids up and down, they community. White people will tear this bitch down if they treated white kids like they treat black kids. Talking about the police department.
Let me say something on that. Let me say something on this. I had a white man, I made a post on Facebook. I had a white man told me, he said and this is a true story, and I wasn't even mad at the white brother because what he said was real. He said his biggest fear as being a white man is the day that all black people will wake up. He said, because if white people had to go through what we went through as black, they would have been burned this bitch down a long time ago. And that's real shit. That's real shit. He said, think about it. He said, what is it? He said, we'll tear our city up if we lose, if we felt we got cheated on a hockey game. What the hell you think we would do? You get what I'm saying? You let damn near the Bruns feel as though they got a bad call, and they'll tear the damn city up. They don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Right. They go crazy over it. So he said, what do you think we would do if our kids was getting gunned down the street? And he's man, please. He was like, his biggest fear. And you know what? I couldn't even get mad at him because he's right. He was like, the biggest fear of me being a white man is the day that all black people wake up and just be like, you know what? Fuck this. Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying? and just go. But again, you know why? Why again? And brothers, I know I got rule. The reason why is because me, you, us three, we sitting up here, we see it. But the minute we start to go on out here, there'll be 3 black people put in front of us that we have to argue with. Like you said, they'll get the gay brother, and then you're fussing with him, so now you're homophobic. You know, I'll have to fuss with these people as well. I'm a homophobic. Shakim, now we fussing with you on something that you should have been on our side with from the start. Like I told Shakim earlier today, Shakim, I made the post about the brother that got killed, and the first person comment on the post was a brother, and the first thing he said was, why aren't we talking about his resisting arrest? A brother. The very first comment was made by a brother.
I heard the video was sick. You know, that you know, it's no justification for it.
You know?
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. And it's almost like, you know, when we start really looking at the state of our communities and our nation, like we're gonna have to demand better. The expectation is gonna have to be there. And once we continue to set that expectation, we just gotta keep fighting. We gotta keep fighting. Like Marifa said, we can't get distracted. And we gotta call. Listen, man. That's why I said it's so important for us to start our own. He didn't request. I have to see if he want to get on.
Hey, Maurice, come on here, brother.
I sent him. I sent him a message. Yeah. But we're gonna. I'm gonna do that right now. But we're gonna really have to do is continue to combat their media propaganda with our own media propaganda. And this is how we got to do it. We got to stay constant. We got to stay on an attack. We don't have 3 and 4 million Twitter followers, but somebody told me this the other day. And no, I told this to somebody the other day. I said, just because that person got 3 million followers on Twitter, that don't mean all 3 million like them. Because some of them, probably half of them 3 million, 1.5 of them don't like you, but they troll your page so they can go roast you in the comments to see what you're doing and to be nosy. So yeah, just because this person has 3 million Twitter followers, that don't mean that 3 million people like them. They just got 1.5 million who don't like them, who stay, retweeting their stuff and making smart comments and exposing you. So we gotta continue. We gotta continue to do what we do now. We got to stay diligent. I mean, we got to call names. I mean, we got to be specific. We got to put names and faces on these accusations. That's a part of educating the people. So don't get mad, people, when Black conservatives, when we talk about Candace and we talk about Brandon and we challenge them, don't get mad at us, because what we're doing is trying to educate. What we're trying to do is educate the people on an alternative, so you don't have to always think that, Black conservatives are sellouts. Black conservatives are sellouts. We can't afford that narrative to continue to play out. So we got to fight that. It's like our backs are against the wall. So people don't understand. Like I said the other day, it's about having a sense of urgency. We got to move with urgency. If we don't move with urgency, then we're going to continue to fall in this same maze that we're in now, are just going around in circles, around in circles, around in circles. So, man, every time they say something dumb, we got to put our foot on their neck.
And that's what we're going to, like I told you, that's what I'm going to keep. Y'all going to get tired of seeing me. Y'all going to get tired of seeing my ass, because, like I said, right now is no time to surrender. This is the most pivotal point, in our life right now, as far as us being here in the modern day. This is the most pivotal point that we're living in, as far as our kids, what they're going to have to go through. Like, we can't even think about grandkids yet. If you don't have grandkids yet, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. And that's not a fear situation. It's, what I'm seeing happen as far as globally is going on. Peace, brother. What's going on? Peace. I see you slide in.
Peace. What's going on, family?
What's going on?
What's the word, family? How you feeling?
Man? How your camera working this evening, brother?
It should be this time. Remember last time I was struggling, boy.
Yeah, you struggling a little now, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, you struggling.
See? I haven't switched over to AT&T fiber just yet. I'm still on the regular internet.
Okay, we can hear you though. You good now? What's up, man? What's the word? Bill with us, brother. What's your take, man? I know you've been listening in. What you got to add?
Yeah, actually, I just got off a call and I was trying to catch up to see what y'all were talking about. I see the title of it is George Floyd, right? I didn't. I haven't watched the video on it yet. I probably won't. What's today? Tuesday. I probably won't watch it till late next week, if that.
Yeah, man, that's rough.
You know, right now it's just a lot to take in. But I saw the visuals though. I didn't see the still pictures. I didn't see the actual video. But we know what the mix is.
Yeah.
And it just puts more pressure on our infrastructure, our lack of infrastructure, and it just puts more pressure on it. And brother, what's your name? Is it Shaka?
Shaka.
What is it?
Yep.
Shaka, appreciate you, fam. You brought up the Black Panther Party and things that we were doing in the past, and I felt like a lot of those things they were doing were effective. Some things, we need to learn from, so we don't repeat the past. But I feel like we have to learn from those people. SNCC, with Black Power and Black Liberation Army and all these different organizations, learn, re-engineer some tactics and go at it again. And keep pushing until we get that victory, man.
It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint out there, as far as, and I live by that blueprint with the Black Panther Party. As far as I'm constantly, it's about the community, and that's it. Like I said, self-defense, self-govern, and helping our neighbor. Love that neighbor. That's what we got away from. Is like I said, we don't see black men as our brother. Like, I don't know you, but I'm like, peace to you. I see you up here. Peace to you, peace and love. Like, we got to get back to that. So it's still some work that we got to do internally. But it's like Malcolm X said, who taught you how to hate yourself? So that we gotta teach ourselves to love each other again, and that's what we're gonna do and expose everything else. So
I got a question for Shakim, because I'm gonna attach what Shaka was talking about. We got to get back to certain things. We're going to do certain things. I know for a fact there are people who are doing the things Shaka's talking about, but I don't think. I think we need a media arm who can showcase and highlight progress. That way, when these incidents come, we don't think we haven't been doing anything the whole time, and we're not asking questions like, "When are we going to do A, B, and C?" When A, B, and C have been happening for a minute, but if you don't have knowledge, it can feel like you're by yourself. It can feel like no one's doing anything. No progress is being made, and it's the same old, same old. I try to get a couple people down here to start a media arm because it takes a lot, but people are so reluctant to do it. What do y'all think about that, forming a media arm so we can relay this message of the things that are happening that are showing that we have progress? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all think about that?
So I think that's good, right? And that was one of the things that we were touching on. We've been touching on that, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's very essential that we're able to combat these narratives. And like I said, people always make, dumb statements, and they say, well, people aren't enraged about black on black crime in their communities. They don't. And the reason why they say that is because they're ill-informed. You have people who are out there doing mentoring programs, who are talking to you, starting programs, like y'all got in Charlotte. You're a part of a mentoring program. I forgot what's the name. What's the name of it again?
Which one?
The one y'all doing in Charlotte. It's a mentoring program. You got. I saw
Strength and Brothers. Wisdom and Strength and Brothers. They got the males place. They got a bunch of them.
Yeah. So see, when we're not talking about these things, and it's not getting the traction that it needs. Whenever people make dumb statements, nobody's saying nothing or nobody's doing nothing about the crime, and you're like, that's a lie. We got all these places here that help young men be able to go and solve their day-to-day problems. It helps them to grow and develop and be a man. So we got to start really highlighting these things. We are very active in doing it, but if we're constantly with our, the media has us with our backs against the wall, and they always showing us, getting beat down and things like that. That's the only thing people are going to think. So I think it's good. Somebody keeps asking me, what is a black conservative? Man, I done answered that so many times. I done lost my breath answering that question. Every live I get on, I always say that. I get back to it, right? But this is the thing. I get back to that answer, and I'll definitely, Nisi, I answer that. But I talked about that like the last 3 nights in a row. But let me answer this, right? Because Brother Pedro Garcia said, protesting won't solve the problem. And I like to always talk about that because we don't expect protesting to solve the problem. The only thing protesting does basically is bring things to the forefront to shine light on issues. Like Marifa said a couple of nights ago, there's different avenues that you must implement at certain times. So there's a time for protesting. There's a time you abandon it. And I pointed to what Jay-Z said. Remember when Colin Kaepernick was protesting? Jay-Z said, you know, okay, at this point, protesting. Let's stop protesting. Let's move on to more tangible, tangible results. He said more actionable items. So yes, there's a time to where protesting is supposed to be used to get actionable items. So, but the thing is, we only get caught up so much on the protesting, and then next thing you know, we go home and people get tired and nothing else happens. But every protest must be built with an end game in mind. Like in the art of war, in the 33 strategies of war, one of the things was begin with the end in mind. So whenever you begin to put together your strategy, you always have to have an end game in mind. Oh, my son. With it here, man.
Yeah, protesting. Yeah, a lot of people that say protesting don't work never protested, and never knew why they were protesting. Let me say, if they have participated once, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what the end result was supposed to be. So, like I said, it's a lot of things with protesting. To the young man that said that, like I said, I protest and then I go to the city hall. And then I go, I put pressure on the politicians. It's other ways. Protesting, I look at it like a profession. Every professional team, has a dance squad, a cheerleading, whatever the case be. Like, don't nobody really go to see the cheerleaders, or don't nobody go to see the dance team. But they're there. They're a necessity to keep, attention going on or keep excitement going on. Where we need attention to this case. So, I'm going to go up there and hold the biggest sign that I can. But guess what? Monday, 9 o'clock, when y'all open, y'all going to see me. And I'm not protesting then. Now we're going to talk. Now we're doing questions and answers. Now we're doing, why is this? Why is that? Now I want a response. That was just for me to bring attention to the situation that y'all burying. Now you got to see me Monday through Friday, and I'm going to be calling the office. I'm going to be on your ass all week. That's the part of protesting. So you don't have to go out there and hold a sign, but if you don't want to do that, call the office. Go down to City Hall. They'll let you speak. They'll let you speak at City Hall. Go down there and tell them what's going on, and you're on record saying it. So when you have things that's on the record, now you can say, I came to you with this January the 29th, 7 o'clock, whatever the case be. Now it's the official record that y'all ignored what was going on. So now that politician or that city council is held liable for what you presented that they didn't act on. It's ways to skin a cat.
Yeah. Brothers, I just jump back in right quick, man. I want to let y'all know something. So I just spoke to a brother named Joshua Blackman, Black Law. That's his Facebook name. Maybe his real name, but that don't matter. What matters is the fact that the brother lives in Minnesota, and what he wanted me to know, and I want the people to know, is that they're not quiet in Minnesota. He said they're rioting in the streets of Minnesota.
Where?
He said it's pretty much a riot. Now, he said you will never see it, and you can't see it on Facebook. Of course, the media is not going to show us that.
Right.
But he said Facebook's keep taking it down. People are trying to share it out, and they're showing the protest, and Facebook keeps taking it down. But the brother, I was like, what I need him to do, I was like, if you record it, I sent him the invite to come on. He said he was busy, but he definitely will come talk with us sometime. He said tomorrow. But he wanted to get the word, let people know, man, that, hey, we're not taking this laying down. You see what I'm saying? Because what has always made the look as though is that, and same thing happened with Ahmaud. When something happens to us, it always makes it look like we just take it and we're not doing nothing about it.
Right.
Not saying nothing. When the truth is, the media is not showing that we are responding. Like how you said, Shakim, they always say, well, what about your neighborhood? What are you doing in your neighborhood? They don't know we're responding because it's not being showed we're responding. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to jump back on, let that be known. Like, hey, big ups to the people, the brothers in Minnesota who are there boots on the ground. I don't want to hear that BS about, oh, that's not what's needed. That's exactly what's needed. It has to be a response. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time they do that to us, something has to happen back. You get tired of us coming there and tearing your city up. Good. We tired of seeing one of us get killed. So make us happy. We'll make you happy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I would be quiet, but I got a mouth on me. So yeah, that is definitely what's needed. And anybody that persuades you that that's not one of the rules of engagement, it might not be something that you're invested in, but it's definitely a weapon that we need to use, and we need to utilize Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Government businesses are open, so these representatives, you go to them. It's black representatives, I'm pretty sure, in that district that they need to be on their ass and make sure that you can put legislation in state and local that doesn't have to be federal. This is what we have. You have positions to do that, but a lot of us we're not forcing these politicians to do it on a local level. So now they run around rampant, like the Dylan Roof situation. And I believe that the pastor was a senator.
No,
He was a senator,
Yeah.
and he was, and a lot of people are not.
Yeah. You talking about down here in Tulsa? Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that a lot of people overlook that struck me the hardest was that senator was involved with putting in legislation that made cops wear their body cam and not turn it off.
Sure
That was, like I said, but I'm just done. You might call it conspiracy theory, but he was putting in legislation. Legislation is the biggest fear that they have. If you're a black face and they ain't doing nothing, that they cool with that. As soon as you start writing legislation to hold these cops accountable on a local level, because these are local cops. So when you writing legislation to deal with the cops on the local level, then that's when you become a problem. And that's what I feel. And I'm gonna leave it like that. I gotta go, but get on these politicians' ass. And like I said, even black people, it doesn't matter what party you belong to, I don't belong to a party. So the person that asks about the black conservative doesn't mean that you belong to a party. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So
just your views.
Hey,
That's just your views.
So somebody want to jump on. Danielle asked a question. She said, so the question is, how should the black community engage police, and how should we train police to engage us? The problem is, how should resisting arrest be handled?
Can I say that before I go?
Go ahead.
I get on their ass all the time, and I'm leaving. I believe it's enough people in our communities that need jobs. All right. So I believe that we need our people that's in the community, that was raised in the community, that have relationships with these families. Like when you see these black kids, you're more respectable when you go to these black kids or talk to them as a police officer. Why? Because I know your mama. What did people used to tell us when we was younger? I know your mama and I know your daddy. You shouldn't be out there doing the shit that you're doing. And they talk to you. They don't treat you like shit. They talk to you and give you a lesson. Besides giving somebody a felony, throw out the dope, smash it, do what you got to do, and tell them to get their ass on. We need more people that actually care about the community than policing the community. Policing the community is bullshit because you got a quota. A lot of people forget, as a police officer, you have a quota. So if you're in a certain geographic as far as the black community, that black community has a quota of how many arrests you need, how many traffic tickets you got to get. Normally, when you get traffic tickets, you pull them over, see if they got a warrant. So it's basically a pipeline of basically oppressing us. I know y'all know it. We speaking to the people that don't know it, but they have a quota. Whenever a business have a quota, that's in sales. So you got to meet that quota. Any job that you have, you don't meet your quota, what happens?
Yeah, you done.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a white cop and I got a quota and I'm in the black community, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to fuck with anybody I fuck. I'm making up shit. Why? Because I have a quota to meet. So I'm in there making up shit, resisting arrest. Get your ass here. He hit me. Assault try to get you the biggest charges that you can get. And nobody talks about the fact that these people have a quota. And if you don't meet that quota, you get disciplinary act. We need to sit back and reform the whole. It's no, we took a class on this. No, we need to sit down, scratch what the fuck what we think is normal, and put together people that's actually in the community can police their community because they care about where they stay at. These people don't stay in our communities, so they don't care, about what's going on. They don't look at your kids the same. I look at y'all kids the same way I look at my kids. They're mine. People can't do that when you white men can't go and look at black kids and see their kids within our kids. They can't do it. So I'm not saying that all cops need to be black, because you got a lot of black cops are fucked up. What I'm saying is a lot of people that's within our community that care about it needs to be, get positions, get grants, or whatever we got to do to clean up. Because we can clean up our community.
So let me ask you this, right? So I'm cool with a police chief here, man. And the police chief told me that recruiting black officers is hard because there's such a general consensus that the police are the enemy in black communities. If the average person doesn't say, I want to graduate school and I want to come be a police, it's shunned at, it's not looked upon as a good profession. So he said, we always, try, our main focus is always good to recruit black officers. But he said the rejection part of it is so hard because it's hard for young black men to want to be police. It's almost like a black person saying, I'm a Trump supporter. One of the worst things, it's almost saying you a black police is damn near just as bad as saying you a black Trump supporter.
I've talked to they wasn't police chiefs, but they was like lieutenants and sergeants about this same situation. Until they actually bring like real reform, nobody's gonna go to that. If you just want to pretend that we're doing reform and these people took this class, you can't have a class where you sit down, I took this class and I'm not racist, or I took this class and they actually got to reform and be serious about reforming the police department, and then people will gravitate into being cops. It's a lot of black men that's irritated on what's going on. I would rather deal with the teenagers on the west side, which is where I'm at. That's the hood. I would rather put on a uniform if they really reform the police department and deal with my kids over there and know how to deal with them and know how to engage with them and not do shit that's on the video and then off the video or a video that went viral and then treat them like shit later. Like, you got to actually sit these kids down and, and have these talks and build that relationship with them. Otherwise, you're just authority. So I wouldn't come at them as authority.
So quick question. Would you become a black cop now? Would you go down to the, no? See? Right.
I'm gonna say I don't that black or the police chief or whoever can whine about black people not becoming police officers all they want, but that institution don't represent black people. There's no what incentivizes a black man to become a cop? Like no police institution across this country stands up for us. None of them. What I'm joining you for? We know what it is. The whole myth about good cops. Where are they? We don't see them. When it hits the fan, where they at? So I don't want to hear that. Like black people, man, you ain't about us. So let me
ask you this.
I think
are we contradicting ourselves in one hand saying, okay, we should have more people who think on the lines of us being in the community with a badge and a gun, being able to articulate, not even articulate, but understand the needs of the people and having a good relationship with them. If we're saying that, shouldn't that be enough of an incentive to say, I'm going to go, looking at everything that's going on, I'm going to go and make a change in the community? Wouldn't that be an incentive enough?
It could be an incentive. I'm just saying the police chief can't complain that black people don't want to join. Like the reasons are valid why they don't. On top of that, they don't pay police officers jack. I'm talking about what white people do. White people do not pay their own police officers, right? They got to get second jobs and all of that. Like the whole institution is busted up. So I don't know why a chief would get mad or frustrated. You got to go. It's not the people you're trying to recruit. That's the problem. You got to talk to the people who deal with the pay. You got to deal with the overall what the institution is about. Like you have to solve those problems. You solve those problems, people will want to serve because black people want to be safe. Black people want to protect. You know what I'm saying? And I'll add this right here too. I think, and a suggestion along with what Shaka said earlier was to incorporate our own neighborhood security. Anytime you have a buffer between civilian and police, there's always been a reduction in crime by a large percentage. So our own neighborhood security. The problem comes with being able to economically support that company, because we don't have a lot of the funds, because we're in a poor economic position, or we just don't want to redirect funds in that direction. That becomes the problem. But that absolutely would be an answer to a problem. I got a friend who's done research on it. When you add your own neighborhood security system, crime diminishes by I don't know how much. And you don't have these direct civilian police interactions. Like, there's such a strong buffer in between there. So that's a good thing too. But I want to say this in response to Danielle, with all that, and I'll let Chaka get in there, is
No, you good.
Even though she's saying, how should the Black community engage police? That's a valid question. And we're talking about solutions, but across the board, since I've been in the game, and I've only been in this thing since 2014, right? It's only been 6 years. But the number one thing I see across the board is lack of people actually getting involved and putting in the work. I don't care if it's people in the comments. I don't care if it's people watching this video. At the end of the day, people don't actually roll up their sleeves and put in the work and do what needs to be done. Period. I mean, that's just the bottom line. People are good doing other things. Nobody wants to actually do the work. That's it. Even a book that gets a lot of controversy, which is the Bible, but it is right on one aspect. It says the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Shakim, how many people have you been trying to organize? Shak, I know you too. I know y'all see this problem. We can't get boots on the ground. So my question, I want to ask this question to everybody listening in the comments, everybody. How do you get Black people to start doing the work? To go from whatever they're doing, entertainment, whatever it is, to go from watching, commenting, to actually doing the work? How do you do that?
It goes back to when you first got in here. You said something, and you answered the question that you answered the question that you're asking right now. You said media. We need our own media. That's exactly what you said. You said we need our own media. A lot of people are not.
Nobody wanted to do the work to become the media. Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah, and then I think some people did try to start, and then it turned into a circus. And you know what? I'm not gonna mention no names because we all come from the same. We come from the same Black. We from the same cloth, regardless. So as Pan Africans, we had some folks that could have been the media, but they decided to turn things into a circus. They had enough money that they were generating that they could send people out to go to Minnesota for this situation, go to South Carolina, go to North. Like, they could dispatch independent journalists to actually document what's going on or bring what's going on. But that's too, I guess that's too positive at a certain degree. We'd rather sit back. You get paid more money by fighting and bringing up controversy against, religion or what's better, culturally, than you do with going into our community and actually helping. So media is definitely the most powerful tool that we have. Media is more powerful than the gun. You know why? Because you can shape the hearts and you can shape the mind of anybody that's watching. So we need our own media showing that we're actually active, which a lot of us are active. A lot, that because you're active. I know of you. I don't know you, peace to you, but I know of you. So like I said, we're active, but imagine if they had a documentary on what you do as far as all year dealing with the Black community, or what you deal with, mentoring or homeschooling or whatever you got going. That shit would be dope. Imagine if they did a documentary on me or Shakim, where we just everyday life of what we. That would actually, people would watch that and they would actually get inspired to do something. But we don't have that arm, so the media is what we're lacking.
Right. Somebody asked, what do y'all think of the local NAACP? So let me start about my local NAACP. I love the people who are there. They've served a wonderful purpose. I think they've done an extraordinary job of getting things to the forefront. I think leadership in the NAACP, they need to find out how to appeal more to more younger, more, I would say, idealistic type of people, because those old, those old ideologies, those old ideologies that they possess, we got to update. We got to update the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We got to update.
Yeah.
We have to. And like I said, we don't want to knock the work that they've done, but those old tactics and things of that nature have to be updated in order for us to be able to, for them to be relevant. It's kind of like updating a resume, right? It's like, I can't go and say, yeah, man, this is what I did 20 years ago. Yeah, that sounds good, but you got to update your resume. You know what I'm saying? If you don't,
my bad. I mean, I gotta go, but I appreciate y'all brothers, man. Keep pushing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but yeah, we got to update our resume, and that's kind of like what my thing on that. Yeah, go ahead. Say hey, man. She sleep. But yeah, go ahead, Shaka.
Y'all watching that YouTube where they be smashing up Play-Doh and shit. I hear the music, but no, bro. Like I said, you on point. And I'm gonna continue to rock with you. I love the fact that you got the kids. Like I said, we need more images. Like, people know my daughter because why I keep my daughter in the forefront of everything. So like, you showing that I got my kids. I'm doing like this is the image that that gets left behind and not pushed forward. What you doing right now, I support it. Even if you ain't doing nothing but singing, got your daughter singing, whatever the case be, like keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna support you all the way. There's gonna be a lot of more questions going on, and I already know it. We'll be here all night. But
man, I'm about to head on out too, man. But I appreciate you, man. Matter of fact, Sonny says she'll be in tomorrow, man. So she says she definitely wants to go live with us. She wanted to do it tonight, but she said she had a long night. But she said she definitely wants to build with us tomorrow. And to be honest, between today and tomorrow, it'll probably be a lot of things that transpire, man. So hey, I'm still waiting on Brandon Tatum to tweet something. I know you're gonna tweet something stupid. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, they might told him to shut the fuck up. Excuse my language, because the kids, but they might told him to shut up.
I don't know, man. I don't think he
said nothing. Let's make a bet. When I see you, lunch. If he don't say nothing in the next 24 hours, that's crazy. I think they told him to shut up. So like when I see you, we're gonna do lunch. It's on me. And if he don't say nothing, you owe me lunch. And the next 24 hours.
So somebody in this comment, we keep ignoring them. Somebody said, "Can y'all important info Hold on. That didn't make sense. Hold on. Y'all ignore my message. Hold on. What was the message? Somebody said we keep ignoring their message, but I'm trying to figure out what the message is. We are protesting for injustice of our black men. Where are you protesting? Listen, can you help us with our march? I don't know. Just let us know. I don't know. Hit up something. I'm not understanding what
you. Like I said, they can either contact you, me and you. We talk. So, I know some folks. You know some folks. If it can happen, it can happen. If not, we are marching.
We are marching. So if you're marching, you marching now. Let me send you a message. Let's see some footage. We need help. Okay, hold on. Let me see something. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring.
I already know. You thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I'm like, oh
yeah. If you in the action, let me see something.
Yeah, we love to get busy.
Yeah. Let me see something really quick. I don't even see this person. I can't even pull up. Hold on. Kelly B. For some reason I can't pull your profile up.
I don't think that's. I don't know that person either. So that's your fault.
They ain't. You ain't on my friends. That I can't send Kelly a request because I can't find her. Oh, let me see something. Nah, I can't find Kelly. I was trying to get you on, but unfortunately, I can't.
Inbox Shakim or inbox me and ask, ask the question that you want. I'm pretty sure we'll answer it. That's not a
Yeah,
problem. So
word.
just saying that you need help marching, that's not
Yeah, yeah. I don't know exactly.
that's
Yeah,
you getting beat on over there. But
yeah. Man, beat on and all kind of stuff, man.
she's sleepy.
Yeah,
But
they thought she was knocked out. Give me a number. I don't have a number. I don't have. I mean, please give me. I don't have a number. There's no calling number, but if I can inbox you the link and you can get on.
right.
But I pulled up. I can call in. I inbox me. Hold on. Let me see. Let me check one more time because I typed in Kelly B.
Look in your if they inbox you, look in your spam file. You know where you keep the little
Oh yeah.
the
Oh
people
yeah.
that you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
See
yeah.
if it's over there.
It ain't. Yeah. I keep both boxes open.
Yeah, tell her like I said if she ain't gonna inbox you playing. Like she could have been inbox you by then.
Yeah, she should have inboxed me because I'm sitting here trying to find her profile, but that profile is not. Oh, let me check one more time. View my- I'm gonna just wait and see really quick. All right, one more time. Yeah, I don't see nothing. Nope. I'm trying to send you a link, young lady, but I'm scrolling down and
She
I
ain't
can.
inboxing. She ain't inboxing nothing, man.
Nah, man.
If they serious, like I said, tomorrow we definitely tonight, it's about 10 o'clock daytime, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock daytime.
Yeah. Man, turn that down, man. All right, let me
Yeah,
get up.
man.
Get my.
Handle your business. Like I said, peace and love, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, peace, family. Y'all take care, man.
Yep.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. Man, I'm gonna sign out. Listen, man, I thank y'all for tuning in. Wonderful. We appreciate everything that y'all doing. Listen, we got to continue. Oh yeah, most definitely. Send me a friend request. Send me a friend request. Shakim Amin Ake. Yes, definitely. Send me a friend request. Send me a friend request. All of that good stuff. But like I said, we're going to continue to have these conversations. I think these conversations are needed. It gives us a good perspective of what direction we need to go in. We need to continue to move forward in our fight for justice. We understand that we have to build allies all over the place. So we need allies in government. We need allies in the streets. We need allies in the business world. We need allies across all races, religions, everything. Because injustice is something that we can't tolerate. And not only injustice, we have to be able to come together to build our communities also, supporting businesses, supporting each other in every way, shape, or form, mentoring, everything. I mean, anything that we have at our disposal to help build our communities, we need to implement it as soon as possible. That is the critical point. Implementation as soon as possible. We need to make sure that we are influencing the direction of our community in a positive way. Once the COVID-19 kind of settles in and all of that other stuff and kind of goes away, hopefully soon, let's start talking to our youth again. We got the conflict resolution program. The conflict resolution program that we created is dealing with how to teach young people how to resolve issues. And we also talk about police community relations too, because why you put him in there? Get him out of there before he break that. No, stop. He gonna break that. Get him out. Get him out. No, that don't zip all the way down. Just pick him up out of there. Why did you get in here in the first place? So we need to make sure that we're able to have a good relationship, even with law enforcement, right? We gotta when you understand the conditions of our community, it's very important that we establish a relationship with. You call. Okay, if you send me an inbox, I can get you on too. If she send me a message, I can get on. If she said they out there marching, I would love to bring her on. Okay, hold up. Here we go. Hold on. All right. So, all right. So I just sent the link. Okay, I just sent her a link. But yeah, so police community relations is very, very, very important also, because these type of situations that we see now, we need to make sure that officers and citizens and civilians understand the role that each other are supposed to play. We got to be able to understand our roles. I mean, I understand that, you know, not every officer is out to get people. They're not. And some individuals, they cause problems, right? I mean, they cause problems for the community, and law enforcement has to arrest them. We understand that, we get it. What we want to do is find that fine line to where we can balance everything so that our communities will be in better shape. That's why somebody calling me on Facebook. I don't know why why they video chat me. We need y'all help. I don't know why this person. Click on the link if you want to get in the video, but I don't know. This person is calling my phone. I don't know why they calling my phone. You got to click the link. I don't know, man. This is crazy. But yeah. So Kelly, if you don't call me, you got to click that link I just sent you to get on. You can't. If you call me, I can't answer a call right now because I'm on live. So yeah, we got to be able to continue to hold people accountable, ourselves accountable. Oh my God. I don't know what in the world is going on. I just sent the person. Kelly, if you're watching, don't call my messenger. I sent you a link and you click on the link and it's going to bring you in here. But don't call me on Messenger because I'm live, so I can't talk to you on Messenger. But I'm about to go. I'm tired. Been up all day brainstorming. But hey, man, we got to continue to have these. Yeah, probably didn't understand. We got to have these particular type of conversations all the time. Like I said, I mean, I'm very disappointed with a lot of things that Candace Owens has been saying, Brandon Tatum, and a lot of them, because they're spewing out facts, but they're not telling the whole story, and the facts aren't relevant to the cause of what we're trying to do. And continuing to push negative stereotypes and generalizations of our community that's not true is a problem. You can't say that our communities aren't concerned about black on black crime, because they are. There are organizations out here right now that are fighting black on black crime. You can't say that our community is not outraged whenever one person kills another, because there's plenty of communities that have started crime watches. They have marches, they do patrols. There's a lot of communities that do these. So just because the media isn't showing you, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I think what happens is when you push that dangerous narrative, you're not looking at the big picture. You're missing it out because you feel that outrage is only defined if it gets to CNN. You're only saying that outrage is there if it makes it to Fox. You're only saying that outrage exists if it goes to one of the major media narratives, which isn't the case. People are outraged without having a major news station attached to their story. So let's definitely get these BS narratives out, because it's hurting our community. It's making us look bad. You know, everybody's saying, "Oh man, black men, you know, are criminals and thugs." It's not like that. A lot of black people are hardworking people. We only want opportunities. We don't want handouts. A lot of black people own businesses. A lot of black people are successful. They're only telling us one side of the story to make it easier for another race who may be racist, whether they're white, black, anybody. But whenever you start spewing out these facts that don't tell the whole story, all it does is just fuse the fire for people to treat us differently and disrespect us because they believe that we don't even support our own people, when that's not the case. I don't know, but I'm out. I appreciate y'all 100%. I am tired. Do you think Candace, Tatum, and King Face will change? I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is gonna be my last question. I think so. I tell you like this, I think so, right? Candace is young. Candace is probably what, like 30 years old. Candace is young. When I was 30 years old, and most of the people who follow me, when I was 30 years old, I was a firebrand, wow, activist. I was straight up, I mean, unapologetic. You know, as you get older and you start to go through these particular situations, it gives you a chance to reflect and look. Right now, she's taking a lot of heat, and this is probably one of the things that later on down in life she's gonna regret. Like, yo, you know what? I shouldn't have did all of that. See, people go through learning processes and development. People go through it. So I went through it. That's why I backed up when all of this started happening, because I've been through stuff like this before. I understand how important it is to make good decisions. So what they're doing will totally kill an organization. So I know, I've seen it happen. I've been in situations to where I woke up in the morning and say, golly, why in the world did I just do that? I've been in those type of situations. So, you know, as a leader, all right, let me get out. My daughter cutting up. But as a leader, you know, these things actually make you think and sit back and reflect. And Candace today is going to be different in 10 years. I can bet your bottom dollar. Because me at 30, half of y'all wouldn't even be listening to me right now at 30 years old. I'd be on here cutting up, acting a fool, all kind of stuff. So, you know, the older you get, the more wiser you get, and you kind of take different approaches, and you understand, you know, what's going on. But all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because baby girl is begging for daddy's attention, so I gotta run. Yes, sir. I say bye bye. All right, it's little JT. All right, y'all. Y'all take care, man. Peace. I'm out. Daddy. What's up?